Hi guys, this is Beth Jansen and I teach 7th grade at Madison Middle School, and I'm excited to demonstrate today how I use Google Docs to create wiki pages for students in the classroom. This is a great way to collaborate with students and give them a place to post their work. If you are not familiar with wiki pages, you can go to jansonville.com. I have a tutorials and frequently asked questions button, and that will take you to the help and FAQs section. So you can always access this information there. You can also always contact me. Here is my contact info, again on jansonville.com. Feel free to email, text, or call anytime. So back to the wikis. Your finished product is going to look something like this. I have a button you can see to go to the wiki pages. And here's what my wiki folder looks like. So within each folder I have a page for every student. So I have it divided into classes, my elective class and then my 4 periods of language arts that I teach. When I hover over that, you can see that this is a hyperlink that's indicated by that little Michael Jackson hand. So I'm going to hover over my second period and show you a student's work from second period. Students who haven't added anything to their wikis yet have blue. We're in the process of moving our wiki pages over from Blackboard to Google Drive, so not everybody has their work posted as of today. But Cameron gave me permission to show you her work, so let's see what it looks like. When I open Cameron's wiki page, I just click on it, and she just has a list of assignments. I have a tutorial for the kids about how to create hyperlinks. Again, you can see that on jansonville.com. A lot of the kids come to school knowing how to do that, and it's very, very easy through Google. So basically, Cameron just writes the name of the assignment and then makes a link to the assignment. So if I want to go ahead and look at her just by looking poem, I click on that link, and you can see that I've already graded this assignment. You'll see some feedback pop up in a second. But this was an assignment Cameron did in September, and you can see where I commented, gave her feedback throughout the poem. So this is a nice way to be able to give students suggestions or grade something that they've written without having them printed out. This way I can go look at her assignment, I can comment, I can put that grade in my Synergy gradebook, and I'm good to go. So each of her links on here is connected to one of her assignments. So this is a group project she did, a narrative analysis with another student. And you can see this looks like a PowerPoint. This is in Google Slides. So I can go through and I can actually look at all of her assignments. She's also learned how to create a folder. So this is her article analysis work. She has a folder within her folder, and she has her article analysis for every week posted in that folder. So you can have students use the folder creation tool that I'm about to show you, just like you can use it to make wikis. Alright, so again, here's my period 2's wiki work, all of my students listed in here, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So remember that you need to have a container or a place to post these. I have my website jansonville.com, but you can post on your Blackboard site, your School Loop site, or a blog, anything else that you have. This will work with any platform that you have to post on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. Since I'm making it my folder, I'm going to go to my wikis folder. Since I'm making a folder for wikis, I'm going to create new and folder, click folder. And I think I'm going to go ahead and title this one Tutorial Wikis. And I like to always put dates in so that I can find it later. So this is going to be the link that I post on my website. So I want to make sure that all students have access to this folder, that everyone can get in this folder because this is where their work is going to be. So on Google Drive, when I have that highlighted in blue, all I have to do now is go up here and click this little paper clip, or chain, whatever you want to call it. So I click Get Link. Right now this is set to anyone with a link can view this folder. But remember, the whole point of a wiki is to be able to have students edit. So I'm going to click Change Sharing Settings, and then click this drop down and change it to anyone with the link can edit. Then I would simply copy and paste this link using, on my Mac, Command-C, or on a PC, Control-C, and post that link on my web page, my school loop, or my Blackboard site. That's all I need to do to make sure that students can get in this folder and post their work. So now I'm going to start actually putting pages in this folder, because you can see when I double click and I'm in the tutorial wikis folder that there are no files in here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a folder for each class period. So I'm going to say that this is class period 1 and create it. You'll see it pop up there. And I can create another one for period 2 and on and on and on for all my class periods. So I'm going to go back to that period 1 folder and actually create a page for my students to post on. So I double click to open that folder, create a new document by hitting this red New button, and click Google Doc. And it gives you this message about creating it in a shared folder because it wants you to know other people will be able to view it or edit it. And I always just say OK, because that's the point of the wiki. So as soon as I create the new document, I like to go ahead and name it. So I'm going to go ahead and name it immediately up here. That's how we title our Google Doc. And I'm just going to leave this page blank. So one thing I'm noticing is my sharing settings have this little guy with a chain link under him, this little icon. If I hover over that, it says anyone who has the link can access, no sign-in required. Just to double check, if a student says they can't access it, you should have, when I click on that button, it should say anyone with a link can edit. That's what I want. So now when I X out of this, in my period 1 folder, I now have John Doe's document. So I'm going to make his sister's document right now. I just, again, click New, and I'm going to title it Jane Doe. Perfect. You can see this little lock. It says private only to me. Once I'm done titling the document, Google is going to remember my sharing settings, and you see that lock changed from private to the little guy with the link. And if I open the sharing settings, it says anyone with a link can edit. The beauty of creating these in a folder that you've already set so that anyone with a link can edit is that anything you create in that folder will have those same sharing settings. So if my folder is editable, then every document or whatever assignment I post in there will be editable as well. So now when I X out of that, here are my 2 Does. Their documents are created, and I don't actually have to put any work on there or do anything besides put their name on there because the students are really in charge of editing everything. So all the student has to do to find their wiki pages, go to the tutorial wikis, go to their period, and then here are their wiki pages. So Jane Doe could open this, and she could go ahead and type her assignment or type the link to her assignment. All right, and the nice thing is that as the teacher, I can either comment on the link by simply clicking comments, or I can just edit her assignment from there. If she makes us a link, it can actually take me to her assignment, and that's how I got that list of assignments like you saw on my students page. So this definitely gives the student a lot of power and responsibility. And one question I get a lot from my fellow teachers is, what if a kid goes in and changes or deletes someone's work? Because since this document is set so that anyone can go in and change it, John Doe could go in and change Jane Doe's work. I definitely don't advertise this to the kids, but sometimes they do figure it out. And my first response to teachers who ask about this is always that I believe it's our job as teachers to build relationships with kids and help them understand how to use this technology respectfully and responsibly. That's my #1 goal. In addition to that, Google has some tools that can help you monitor how students are posting on the pages. So let's go check this out on Cameron's. Remember, we have our period 2 website, and here's Cameron's wiki work. So if I open up that just by looking poem again, that we looked at with the comments, you'll remember this. If we go to this where it says last edit was made on September 19th by Cameron George, it says every change you make is automatically saved in Drive. You can see that little button or bubble pop up. This means that Google is keeping track of all the changes that we made. So if Cameron clicks on this, she can actually see the editing history. Now, she has this set when I click the sharing settings to anyone with a link can comment. So this is kind of cool because she's taking control of this and made it so that other students can't edit it. So if I try to type on here, it's not possible, but if I highlight, I can create a new comment. So that's one option. You can have the kids set their document, or you can set it to anyone with a link can comment, and then you could just share it with them. So say that I want to make Cameron's actual wiki page like that. Remember, I'm not worried about this particular assignment. I want to make sure that nobody else can get on and edit this page. I'm going to click the sharing settings where it says anyone with the link can edit. I'm going to change that to can comment. And then what I would do is enter Cameron's email in here. So pretend this would be her email. I would go ahead and click on that. I realize this is Katie Burt, not Cameron George, but I can go ahead and add her to that, and then only she can edit it and I can edit it because I'm the owner of the document and I added her and gave her editing privileges. So that's one way that you can deal with that. You can also go through and check that autosave list. So right up here it says the last edit was made 3 days ago by Anonymous. If a student's not signed in, I know that Cameron was in here making changes, but if a student isn't signed in, it will say that they're anonymous, and that's important to know. I just tell the kids they must sign in. But I can see, actually, Google will show me where Cameron went in and made changes or where the anonymous student went in and made changes. So if I wanted to go back and see what it looked like on November 23rd, you can see it's blank. This is when I created the page. I could click Restore this revision. I will not because it'll erase Cameron's work. But you can see what revisions were made, and you can actually restore the file to the original version. So those are some ways that you can kind of have a little control over what's going on the wiki pages. If you're thinking like all of this sounds like a lot of work, just remember that you are creating a place for students to post and turn in assignments, and this system gives you a way to access and grade student work anywhere, anytime, on any device. I can pull a student's work up on my phone. I can share documents really easily with students. I can give them specific and immediate feedback from my couch, sitting here with my dogs in my pajamas, if I'd like to. This also means that I don't lose student work because it's saved automatically on Google. Also, the one other nice feature is if your student has a smartphone or tablet, doesn't matter if it's an Android or Apple device, they can download the Google apps for free so that they can create and edit work right on their phones. And a lot of my students really appreciate this, especially students who don't maybe have internet access at home, because they can go somewhere that has Wi-Fi and use their phones and get their work done. So I hope that this video has been helpful and that you'll consider giving Google a try and maybe making a wiki in your classroom. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact me at any time. And thanks for watching.